Today we're launching our renewal campaign, and I'm thrilled to announce a season of plays in which renewal is a recurring theme. So our next season gets off to an uproarious start in July with a bizarre and irreverent musical showcasing two of Victoria's most unique writers, as well as some of our most talented young performers. I'm thrilled that we're going to be able to open our doors to one of this city's most sought after and most successful alternate companies. Atomic Vaudeville's Ride the Cyclone was showcased at the Summer Works Festival in Toronto last summer, where it won Now Magazine's Audience Choice Award, as well as the Summer Works Prize for Production. They're going to be returning to Toronto for a run at Theatre Passe-Muraille in the fall, but before that happens, Atomic Vaudeville will be making their Belfry Theatre Mainstage debut with a remount of this crazy and macabre show. For those of you who don't know, it's set in a fairground, and it features a cast of teenage characters who have already died before the musical starts. And Ride the Cyclone is their musical opportunity to express their individuality and come to terms with their untimely demise. The fun will continue in August with the return of some of the Belfry's most hilarious and most beloved friends. Mum's the Word Remixed is a new show that takes the best bits from the original Mum's the Word as well as Mum's the Word 2 Unhinged. This new show will see the mums carry from infants, dealing with infants, to toddlers, to rebellious teenagers, to endangered marriages. It's very true, the stories are all true, it's intimate, and it's all the more fun just because it's so identifiable. It's a perfect show for anyone who is a mother, a perfect show for anyone who's about to be a mother, and a perfect show for anyone who's ever had a mother. Our Mainstage subscription season will begin in September with an English language premiere of one of Quebec's most celebrated plays. It's a play about discovering the beauty in everyday life. It's a play about rejuvenation and hope. A co-production with the National Arts Centre in Ottawa, and Slowly Beauty will premiere at the Belfry and will feature members of the National Arts Centre English Language Acting Company, which next year will include Victoria's own Celine Stubel. In this play, an ordinary man wins tickets to see a production of Chekhov's The Three Sisters, and it changes his life forever. Slowly, the way that he looks at his mundane life starts to change. He starts to see hope, he starts to feel a sense of optimism, and those parts of his life that struck him as dull and frustrating, he starts to see them as being filled with joy. It's a celebration of everyday life, and it's a moving tribute to common man. It's a beautiful, beautiful play. Come November, we'll be shifting gears, moving from beauty to nerves, from gentleness to tension, as a group of Canadian theatre artists, actors, director, writer, stage managers cope with nerves, cope with stress, cope with worry, and cope with jitters. The classic and very funny Canadian backstage comedy. It's full of egos and fears and hopes and tears, and one young actor locked in the dressing room washroom on opening night. Jitters was written by the great David French, one of our most talented playwrights, whose death last year was a great loss to Canadian theatre. This production of Jitters will continue our exploration of plays from the Canadian canon, and will also celebrate David's long and productive career, a career that was very closely connected with the late great Bill Glasgow and the Tarragon Theatre. David French's Jitters has been a runaway hit since the 70s, and I know that its mixture of humor and heart will be a great treat for all of you here and for all members of our audiences. In January, we'll start the new year with a new play. It's a play about three very different women searching for identity in a world of men. Three women, all played by one actress in a tour de force performance, full of honesty. Three stories that are full of biting humor from the author of Rage and Sexy Laundry. Michele Riml's On the Edge is a moving tribute to the empowerment of women. It's a world premiere commissioned by the Belfry from one of Canada's smartest writers. And it's an evening dedicated to ordinary women. An evening full of yearning, full of the hope of redemption, and full of the possibility of fulfillment. In March, we'll be heralding the return of our Spark Festival, which has become one of the city's most exciting artistic events. This year's lineup will include Michael Redhill's acclaimed play Goodness from Volcano Theatre in Toronto, in a beautiful production that's toured the world. Goodness is a full-length 2-act play that explores the question of why good people do evil things. The first week of Spark will also feature our 2012 incubator project, Snafu Dance Theatre's Kit and Jane, written and performed by Ingrid Hansen, one of the city's most interesting and talented artistic voices. And stay tuned for 2 more exciting Spark Festival presentations, which will be announced soon. And of course, the Spark Festival again will include mini plays, professional development workshops, play readings, Belfry 101 Live, and some funky new additions to the activity that keeps this building full from top to bottom for 2 weeks in midwinter. To round out the season and to welcome the return of spring, we'll be welcoming the return of Belfry's former artistic director, Glynis Lation, with an international hit comedy, winner of New York's Tony Award for Best Play, winner of London's Olivier Award for Best Play, a wildly funny comedy of manners, minus the manners. Yasmina Reza's God of Carnage, translated from the French by Christopher Hampton. Like her play Art, God of Carnage is suburban, it's sophisticated, it's urban. God of Carnage centers on 2 upper-middle-class couples trying to deal maturely with a schoolyard brawl between their 2 children. And as much as they try to be adult about it, their behavior becomes shocking, their language is savage, and the dynamic between the 2 couples and between the 2 pairs of husbands and wives becomes explosive. It's just an evening of watching 2 well-bred couples behaving like very badly brought-up children. And that's our exciting lineup for the Belfry next season. They're plays that examine ordinary people trying to make the best of their lives. Plays that look at life through prisms of comedy, through Chekhovian empathy, through madness, a little bit of meanness, and the theater. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you very sincerely for all of your support. And please join us for a season of renewal, both on stage and off.